has her knockers just hanging out of her shirt, dude. I'm down with that. I don't know anyone who's like not a fan of boobs. You know? Man or woman, boobs are just, aren't they the best? Alright, so I wanted to talk about why I think, with the utmost confidence, that the Honda Grom is the best bike for beginner riders. So if you're new to riding, you've never ridden before, or you want to buy a bike for your wife, your son, your daughter, younger brother, younger sister, whatever, the Grom is going to be your best bet for your average beginner. Now, why do I say that? Well, I mentioned specifically women and younger people. Why did I do that? Well, because the wheelbase, or not the wheelbase, but it's short. My wife is 5'2" on a good day, and she can flat foot a Grom. Pretty rad, right? Now, that's a big issue for a lot of women. Women being smaller than men, on average, is flat footing a motorcycle. So when they come to an intersection, man, sometimes they'll just topple right on over. Now, it's not just for women, right? Younger brother or sister, whatever. If you're short and you can't flat foot, hey, get a Grom. Pretty neat. I love it. Now, I'm 5'9". I don't have to worry about that kind of thing, but it's just nice to have a small bike. It's real nimble. Well, let's move on to the second topic. The second reason why I think this is the best beginner bike. Some people will say, fuck that, it's got no power. Yeah, I know, it's gutless. The only reason I'm on this highway right now, because this is a highway, and it's not exactly highway rated, is because I've modified it a little bit. Nothing crazy, but I'm able to access my fifth gear. Before I wasn't able to, just because of my weight. I'm just under I'm about 200 pounds. And so it's nice to have that fifth gear, because now we're going 60. We're not going 63, we're going 60. So with a little bit of modification, I think $30 and about 45 minutes worth of work, if that. That's including cleanup. I had the 15-tooth stock front sprocket replaced with a 14-tooth, so I got more torque, and I can use my fifth gear. So it doesn't have any power. It's 9 horsepower. It's 124 cc with a single piston engine, air cooled. So there's not a lot of components there. It's not very heavy. It's pretty light, and I think that really helps out. Now, the argument there is that, well, if you needed to drop a gear and disappear, you can't. No, you can't. You really can't. Which, not that big of a deal. You know, they say too, like, if you needed to accelerate out of an issue, you can't. Well, man, in my years of riding, that's never really been an issue. I've never really had to, you know, accelerate out of a problem. I've maybe once or twice, maybe, but there's another avenue, and that would have been like maybe veering off to the left or the right or whatever. But it's the lack of power that I think gives it an edge as a beginner bike. You know, the 200s, 250s, 300s, those could be beginner bikes too. I'm not saying they can't, but for the price, I got this brand new for $5,000 in Beaverton, Oregon, and that's a pretty standard price for a brand new Grom in the United States that I've seen. You know, some places might be more, some places might be less by a couple hundred, but for a brand new, off the floor with a mile on it, It's the first brand new thing I ever bought as well. So, yeah, you can't beat that for the price. So the acceleration is lacking, without a doubt. But let's say when I'm accelerating, and it's happened to me many times, I just either forget to shift all the way up through neutral and I end up still in first and I dump the clutch while I'm gunning it. It's not going to pop up on you. You know? Here, I'll demonstrate. We're going to do flat out. See, I just dumped the clutch. It's not going to pop up on you. So I think that's a great thing, because that's one less thing to worry about. When I was down in San Diego, I was on Highway 1, and I accidentally dumped my clutch. And my front end came up, and I looked like a freaking fool. Now luckily I was fine, the bike was fine, I didn't drop it or nothing, it was all good. But you know, that could have ended badly. I could have run into a person, a car, a building, a house, but I didn't. And I was lucky. Now on the Grom, you don't have to worry about that at all. That's a non-issue. You have to try to do a wheelie on the Grom. So, and that's my biggest thing right there, is that you don't have to worry about that. It's lightweight. The brakes are real. I mean, you might need to upgrade your brakes after a little bit. You know, new brakes, new caliper, or rebuild the caliper. But other than that, I mean, fucking A, dude, you're good to go. Know what I mean? Brakes pretty quick. Okay, we're at 50. We'll wait for this guy. Not too bad. Right? Yeah, dude. I love it. It's 123 miles to the gallon for me. Ish. It's probably more like 120 because it thinks I'm going more farther than I actually am. But just because I swapped out the front sprocket. But yeah, dude, this sucker can go anywhere too. It's not expensive, so you don't really have to be all that worried about fucking it up. And if you do fuck it up, it's cheap to fix. I hit a deer last year. Broke that plastic down there. Broke a couple things in the light assembly. All in all, $80 with shipping for 3 parts. Pretty neat. Took about an hour to do. Now, since it is a little bike, it can be a little bit of a bitch to work on, but it's not that bad. It's really not all that bad. It encourages you to ride safely because it is incapable of going too fast. Okay, you're not going to be on the highway. You're not going to be on I-5 in LA. Well, maybe you could during rush hour, just go through. You don't need to be fast, but you're not going to be on the I-5 somewhere hauling ass going 130 miles an hour. It's incapable. You're maxing out at the speed limit. You're redlining at 65 if you're lucky. Now there's things you can do. You can engine swap it. You can put the big bore kit on it. You can do a water cool system on it. There's a lot of things you can do. The Grom is so modifiable that it's crazy. So, but in its stock form, it's relatively quiet. Now I don't have a stock exhaust. I have the Amazon exhaust. But in its stock form, it's fucking great. I love it. I love it. I couldn't ask for a better bike. Now, do I miss going fast? Duh. Of course I do. I'm a speed demon. I have a WRX at home. I have this. I had a Ninja 600. My wife had the 636. 2012, the anniversary edition. But yeah, dude, I just think this is a great beginner bike, man. I'll fight you. Yeah, you know, that's a hill I'm willing to die on. That this bike, look how nimble it is. Now, it's not, you know, I'm not the greatest at showing that off. But, yeah, man, it can go anywhere. I fucking love this thing. I would say, go take one for a test ride. You know, if you're on the fence, take one for a test ride. I guarantee you, you're gonna love it. I promise you that you'll have a smile on your face. I'm not affiliated with Honda or being, you know, told to sell anything. I don't make any money. I just think it's a great motorcycle. Insurance is 30 bucks a month, 35-ish. Gas is, you know, I only put a gallon in here every time I fill up. I fill up at about the first to second tick on the bottom. And it's technically a 1.6 gallon tank, but I typically put 1 to 1.1 gallons in it, and I walk away with a $4 or $5 bill. And that's every 100 and something miles, so I get a week out of it on $5. And that way, like today, what did I just do? I just went down to the liquor store just cuz and back. I'm not tripping, because it cost me $1. You know what I mean? I could do that 5, 6 more times. It cost me a fucking buck to go down there. Whereas in my WRX, that would have been more like, you know, $2. Maybe, well, what is it? It's about 10 miles. No, it's 8 miles to the liquor store from my house. Right? So 8 divided by 123. That's a lot. I don't know what it is. So maybe it's less than $1. Actually, I'd say it's way less than $1. I think it's more like 35, 45 cents worth of fuel to go down to the liquor store and back. I ain't tripping. So I'm just gonna end the video here. I've talked about the Grom, why I love it, and why I think you'll love it too.